I feel like even I need a Geet in my life to balance me out and, bring me to that point where I can
be chatty
open up
again.
and
Do
chatty.
moja.
Yeah, do moja. But yeah, it was a difficult character for me to play, but I think Imtiaz sir and I spoke about him a lot, and in that process of just having those conversations, kahin na kahin wo milta gaya character. So I was just lost in that world. For those few hours, I was just so into their lives, and I remember listening to certain stories and there were tears in my eyes.
When we were having the initial conversation of this, when I wasn't a part of it as yet, he said this one line to me, and he said that I want to make this film right now because I want the generation who has been through partition to be able to see this film.
Right.
People will go through while they watch the film is the impact that Diljit sir's character is feeling. So his voice in the film is really that voice of which is ours.
My decision making or my anything that I'm part of, I'm proud of it because I'm doing something that will A, shape who I am, and B, it'll be something I want to look back and be proud of. Proud of what I've done and proud of the impact it had made. And I'm not talking about collections.
So movement just masks a little bit, helps you a little bit more. I had never done this look into the camera and sing, which is what Imtiaz had wanted. And because it was the first day, I thought, okay, maybe I should just have my own little research and go. So I'm thinking who to call. And I had heard of Alia had gone to Shah Rukh sir in interviews, and she had said that she had.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, you know what? I can call Alia because she's such a good friend of mine now. So I said, I'm going to go. And Alia was somewhere on a vacation, and I say, listen, Alia, just tell me you don't have to do this tomorrow. She said, tomorrow? You have to do this tomorrow? You're calling me right now.
Hello everyone, welcome to Filmibeat. This is Hesha Chima, and joining me here for a conversation today is Sharvari Wagh and Vedang Raina. Hi guys!
Hi, how are you?
Very good, how are you all?
All good.
Hectic day of promotions, I'm assuming, back to back.
But we're happy to speak to you.
I'm happy to speak to both of you all too. We two have met before. It's my first time with Vedang, so I'm very excited. And just lucky perks of my job कि मैं आप लोगों का गाना जो कल रिलीज होने वाला है वो मैं देख के आई हूँ.
कल रिलीज होने वाला है?
हाँ जी, जैसे हमें बताया गया है. बट ठीक है ना, जब ये इंटरव्यू आएगा तब तो सब देख चुके होंगे. बहुत ज़्यादा प्रेशर होगा वेदांग. But you sang so well.
Thank you so much.
It's amazing. It's good to know that you can sing also. एक और talent unlocked है यहाँ पे. Oh God, Sharvari, do you sing also?
No. I'm a bathroom singer.
She does sing, just not in public.
Yes, he's right. I do
so
sing.
I've heard her sing.
He's heard me sing for fun.
She has a lovely voice actually.
Okay, I'm pushing it.
Don't worry, मैं बिल्कुल किसी को भी गवाने नहीं वाली हूँ यहाँ पे. So no pressure whatsoever. But to begin with, I feel as a journalist also and even as a viewer, we look forward to an Imtiaz Ali film, है ना? And आप तो actors हो, तो I'm sure वो एक bucket list होती है कि इम्तियाज अली फिल्म में काम करना है, and it happened for the both of you. Also, congratulations.
Thank you.
What I do want to know is, starting with this, उनकी सारी फिल्मोग्राफी देखते हुए, उनकी सारी फिल्म्स में से ऐसा कौन सा उनका एक किरदार है, a character in their film, जो आप लोग real life में सबसे ज़्यादा relate करते हो?
Real life.
हाँ जी.
Do you want me to start? It's a hard question, but I think I'd say Aditya, because I feel like in a weird way I relate to his reserve kind of behavior, and I relate to his introvert type of behavior, how he was in the first half before he met his Geet. And I feel like even I need a Geet in my life to balance me out and bring me to that point where I can
be chatty
open up
again.
and
Do
chatty.
moja.
Yeah, do moja.
Okay, sweet. What about you, Sharvari? आपके लिए कौन सा ऐसा एक किरदार है?
Strangely for me, I think my character from this film, which is Jia, is the most relatable to me, I think. At first I didn't think, but the more I started actually performing and talking about it to my friends, because I had this habit of really talking about everything. So when I was talking about it to my friends, everybody just like, oh my God, you do the same thing, and you say, it's like there's this thing which is actually really strange. I say things to my friends sometimes which just happen, they just turn out to be true. And I say very random things, nothing big. I'm not someone on premonition.
Can I tell you a few things to tell your friends?
अब मैं वही बोलने वाली थी.
You're my friend. I can say it to you.
Achha, I also count on it.
Yes, of course.
I'll tell you, I'll message you everything you should say to me every day.
ऐसे
You
नहीं
never
होता
know
है.
कब
ऐसे
हो
नहीं
जाए.
होता है. But what I mean is that I've said things, this will happen, and it happens. And I think that there is a bit of that in the film also, where Sir always kept telling me that, you know, this character has, she just knows that this will happen. Like before the scene, she has a really strong intuition of things, and I think I have that. And so when I started saying these things, I realized that, you know, there's so much that obviously not many people know. It's just something very like close people know. And it just turned out to be true in me and the character. And other than just me talking a lot, is also part of my character.
So then I feel even Geet can be that character if you're not being biased to ye wala film.
Of course.
No, of course, definitely. But you know, I also have to pay you a compliment. Marathi mulgi is what we know Sharvari as, and मैं पंजाबी हूँ, तो मुझे पता है कि मेरी पंजाबी तो बिल्कुल ही मतलब एक्टिंग तो मैं कर ही ना पाऊँ और बात भी ना कर पाऊँ ठीक से पंजाबी में, but you got that nuance really well जो हमने देखा है टीजर में ही, and so have you. Oh my God. Both of you थोड़ा जल्दी से tell me कि कितना time लगा to actually get into the skin of the character.
काफी टाइम लगा. I think मेरे लिए तो ये बहुत ही मुश्किल character था to play because it's a character very far from who I am as a person, at least I believe that. And for me to reach that point of, you know, who this Keenu guy is, took some time. पहली बार मैंने, you know, पग पहना अपनी life में, and that feeling is something else only. You know, every morning I used to get ready and I used to put that on, and I remember it was like meditation for me. मैं 5-10 मिनट आँखें बंद करता था, and that was like, okay, and now I'm going into that portal to enter my character. In a weird way, every time I wore that turban, it was like, okay, now I'm just becoming Keenu.
Yeah.
And वो feel होता था मुझे हर सुबह in that vanity van.
Yeah, and you know, we learned how to tie the turban, ourselves.
Yeah, both of us did that.
Yes, गाने में भी, और हम दोनों actually office में आए थे, and we did multiple sessions of actually learning how to tie the turban.
Wow.
It was.
And we didn't do a great job. You know, people who are, that's why there are pagdi artists who do such a wonderful job, because you realize that it's a real skill.
Yeah.
So I can, you know, do it, but it won't look as clean, and that, you know, that touch won't there be there. But yeah, it was a difficult character for me to play, but I think Imtiaz sir and I spoke about him a lot, and in that process of just having those conversations, kahin na kahin wo milta gaya character. But uska clumsiness, nervousness, the shyness, to play the boy, to play a boy from, you know, 1947 Punjab, Western influence भी था उस character पे, दोनों की characters पे. So all those things were interesting to explore.
Okay, आपके लिए शर्वरी?
I think the most exciting part for an actor is to learn something new. You know, at least I believe so all the time, and I'm always like looking to learn something different, because that's like, matlab, that really keeps me on my toes. So I think, of course, whether it's language, that really is my segue into a lot of characters. Really, you know, I find a language, because in India there are so many languages. True. You know, and so I think that kind of is my segue getting into my characters. Music played a really important part. I think that, you know, I like even Vedang has this process where he creates a playlist, and we shared these playlists, and we came across some incredible music of the film. I mean, of that time for the film. And I think mainly, you know, there are these adaएं and nakhras that, you know, we've almost stopped doing.
Yeah, we've outgrown. Ab hum nahi karte hain.
We don't do that. Yeah. That body language that women had back in the day, we don't have that body language. Or even like, you know, like words like uff and hi. We don't say those things, but they were very, very common, because those were their expressions. They weren't really words. Yeah. So to be able to say those things with ease, like they're a part of your everyday conversation, I think that was really the journey in the segue. I watched so many black and white films. I tried to listen to a lot of interviews of actors and artists of that time, so that you kind of understand how they speak, how they move their head, how they sit, because women also sat differently, stood up differently, everything was different. Yeah. So I think that was the most exciting research of this entire thing, and I think, so Vedang and I also went on the recce with Imtiaz sir, and when we went to Amritsar, we went to the Partition Museum, because of course there is a backdrop of partition, and we really wanted to get as much information as we can, you know, for the history that our country has had. Yeah. So I think we really went in there as actors, but just came out as students of just history. You know, and we really
that really made an impact. That really made an impact on, I think, both of us, and we realized, because we've heard stories of that time and stories of the partition, and jo nana nani ya dada dadi ne bola hoga kabhi, but to really hear it first hand of those people who had taken that train and migrated and you know, like anecdotes of their lives and their stories and their, you know, tragedies of the partition. वो सुनना was something else. I remember we were there at that partition museum for some 4.5 hours. We spent the day there almost. And you know, in that place you put these headphones on and you look at the different televisions, and there are different stories and different anecdotes of people. And मतलब वहाँ पे तो it was I was just lost in that world for those you know, few hours. I was just so into their lives, and I remember, you know, listening to certain stories, and there were tears in my eyes. And I feel like there were tears in your eyes because they were really just so moving. And I think those things you don't realize, but it impacts you and it's in your subconscious. And you think कि अच्छा ये acting में कहाँ use करोगे, but you know, you need to just experience certain things in life and they're in your subconscious, and you kind of, it impacts the way you perform and you behave on set.
True. You know, क्योंकि मैं actually ये पूछने ही वाली थी. So my दादी is actually still alive and she's from the partition era. तो मैंने ये reality में सारी stories सुनी है. So I understand the touch, and इसीलिए मुझे लगता है that I'm one of those people who believes a lot in old school love. तो इस जमाने में तो मैं वापस आऊंगा, only a toxic ex will tell me, not somebody in reality.
But ये film उनके लिए है, पता है?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to know.
Like Imtiaz sir, you know, when he was talking about this film, and I remember when we were having the initial conversation of this, when I wasn't a part of it as yet, he said this one line to me, and he said that I want to make this film right now because I want the generation who has been through partition to be able to see this film,
right?
You know, and that sentence, just something happened to me. Like I felt like
was the most,
obviously he said it more beautifully than I am putting it right now.
No, but I remember this also, and it just you can tell that it comes from a pure place. He really wants to make it for a generation because he knows that that generation is not there for very long.
Yeah.
So this film had like a, you know, it needed to come out now.
True.
And but that is such a like. It's such a pure thought in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, since we are talking about generations, right? हमें आज के generation को भी cater करना है, which is the Gen Zs, right? I want you to tell कि आपको कैसे लगता है ये film in a way Gen Zs को भी इतना impact करेगी, because as an actor you've got an impact. जब आपने वो सारी चीजें देखी, you've also got an impact in a certain way. But वो younger audience के लिए क्या take away होगा?
So like in the film, Diljit sir's character is actually representing this generation, and exactly what we went through or what people will go through while they watch the film is the impact that Diljit sir's character is feeling. So his voice in the film is really that voice of which is ours in reality, which is like Vedang's voice or Sharvari's or your voice. So I feel like people will really relate to that because when you see the film, you will have the same questions, you know, and he's having those questions. And I think that that journey that his character has will give you so many answers, you know, and anything that I say more will be like an Easter egg, you know. So I don't want to give too much about it, but I promise you that there is an entire portion in the film which will cater to the relatability of today's generation with the story of the like the previous undivided India.
Yes, and then I mean, we also, I think I keep talking about this, that it's not about having to be able to relate to it because those emotions are universal. You'll always relate to an emotion, but you don't have to have actually experienced those things yourself, but you can even aspire to have those feelings. Like you know, teaser में भी बात करते हैं कि 78 years से ये love story has been going on. 78 years, and you suddenly feel like, yaar, I also want that 78 years why love story. I really want that kind of pure love that lasts a lifetime. And beyond that, so you know, our generation, you may think that we are the type of generation that, you know, is on Tinder or whatever, but we are seeking that somewhere. I feel like we all are seeking that only.
Okay. You know, Vedang, I have to say this to you. मतलब ये सबके लिए होता है. I feel in a actor's career, whether it is hits or flops, उनकी filmography का ये part होता है, right? When you face setback, what was your coping mechanism? And अब इस film पे इतना ज़्यादा backing होगा, I'm sure, because you're playing a different character, you're also singing, and it's an Imtiaz Ali film. How are you seeing your career going forward with this film?
I think my decision making can't be based on what the outcome of the film will be. My decision making or my, you know, anything that I'm part of, I'm proud of it because I'm doing something that will A, shape who I am, and B, it'll be something I want to look back and be proud of. Proud of what I've done and proud of the impact it had made. And I'm not talking about collections. So this is a film that I'll always be proud of being part of.
Yeah.
And the other thing is all external stuff, which is not the real purpose of this. And I mean, I only look at it as like how would I ever say no to an Imtiaz Ali film. This is a dream come true. And what happens after it releases is like ये ख्याल तो मेरे दिमाग में आया भी नहीं है. Of course, these are things people talk about, but it's just about the opportunity of doing this, and also the fact that it comes so much from the heart. I think those things mean already the world to me. So.
And then when you do face a setback, how do you come out of it? What's your coping mechanism?
It's hard because you deal with you are part of this journey for so long.
Yeah.
And by virtue of being an actor, you are also so emotionally invested in it because it's all about your emotions.
Yeah.
So every time you're on set, you're playing a character. You have to be invested in it from your heart. Otherwise, you're not doing a good job. So because you're so invested and your heart and soul is in a project for so long, it is the worst feeling in the world because you want people to, at least be entertained and enjoy and be moved by what you've been trying to, do. And you actually before you even step on the set, since the point you're reading the script, you're doing it for an audience. You want to reach them.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about that. But also before even that is that it has to come from your heart. It has to come from a pure place. You have to give it your all, and that's the best you can do. So I've made peace with that, and I'm going to always be at peace with that. To give my heart and soul on set every day, to give your 101%, and then pray to God that something amazing will happen.
And I really wish you well for that. I hope that happens because we're looking forward to it, and I feel हमने आपका काम देखा and we liked your work. So congratulations
Thank you
on
so
that.
much.
Sharvari, to the both of you all, you have Alpha coming in, and I have to mention it that we're all so excited for it. But of course, मैं उसके बारे में ज़्यादा बात अब तो नहीं करूँगी. But जो मैं कर सकती हूँ वो है कि आप दोनों की commonality है Alia Bhatt in the middle, and of course Imtiaz sir has also worked with her. मुझे दोनों से ये जानना है specifically, what's that one thing जो आपने उनसे सीखा, like a skill set that you feel she has that today makes her a phenomenal actor?
I think, I can't, I do have an anecdote to give on something that she helped me with. Sure. It's not straight to your question, but I remember my first day on set was just one, like a lip sync, which was supposed to be a slow motion. So we sing it fast. So it's basically a little bit reverse. And while I have done something like that in Haan Ki Haan, I was still dancing. So movement just masks a little bit, helps you a little bit more. I had never done this look into the camera and sing, which is what Imtiaz had wanted. And because it was the first day, I thought, okay, maybe I should just have my own little research and go. So I'm thinking who to call. And I had heard of Alia had gone to Shah Rukh sir in interviews. And she had said that she had.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, you know what? I can call Alia. Because, she's such a good friend of mine now. Yeah. So I said, I'm going to go. And Alia was somewhere on a vacation. And I say, listen, Alia, just tell me, you don't have to do this tomorrow. She said, tomorrow? You have to do this tomorrow? You're calling me right now. And I'm like, yeah, but now you help. So she said, okay, open the notes app. And I'm going to start saying things, just start writing it. And I remember that she'd given me these tips. And she's such a first bencher, and so am I. So I was so aligned with this energy that, put her on speaker, put on the notes app, and I'm writing these things. And she's given me all these notes, and she said, okay, but so you're doing this tomorrow with Imtiaz? I said, yeah, with Imtiaz sir. And she's saying, yeah, so just listen to him. You're going to be fine. You'll be fine. So I think after giving me all the tips, she just told me to listen to Imtiaz sir, believe in myself, and I'll be able to do it. And she was really, really kind to be able to help me with that, and which is why I love her. She's like a trooper, she's a girl's girl.
Yeah. And also I feel little push goes a long way. Even हम call करते हैं दूसरे को कभी-कभी थोड़ा बहुत याद बताओ क्या करना है कैसे करना है. So I think that is really sweet. Vedang, for you, Jigra, of course.
That experience in itself, I was coming from a very different kind of film. I felt so new and raw as an actor. So I just remember this feeling very distinctly that I went, my very first scene of the film was with her. And it was a scene where we had to, we had dialogues, and I was really nervous because I thought, how will I act in front of her? How will I do a scene where, Alia is in front of me? I'm not ready for this. And I remember her making me feel so easy. Like she, I could tell that she's making a conscious effort to make me feel relaxed and, it's okay, it's the two of us and we're just going to talk and we're going to do this scene. And that made me feel so, I remember that it relaxed me so much and it helped me in that scene. And I think that is my takeaway from her. That even after reaching that level, how Sharvari feels about her, and she really is that person. She makes you a friend and makes you feel like, you're my person.
Yeah.
And at that level of her stardom, and after achieving all of this is a really unique and special quality about her.
Yeah.
And I wish to be like her in that aspect.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, honestly, when the film comes out, I'm sure मुझे और बहुत ज़्यादा बात करना होगा क्योंकि हमने तो सारे permutations, combination बना लिए. Then maybe Vedang is the young Nasir sir, and then Diljit is doing this, whatever, X, Y, Z, But after the film, I'm sure बहुत कुछ और निकलेगा. And then hopefully we'll get to chat with all four of you all, including Diljit and Imtiaz sir. But for now, you have an amazing year lineup. We all know about it. So all the very best, Sharvari. I hope we meet super soon.
Yes, we will.
And Vedang, all the very best to you as well, sending positive energy. And we really hope the film reaches to everybody as
Thank
it
you
should.
so much.
Thank you so much for your time,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.